Happy Sunday, everybody. How are you all? So I'm just on the way with hubby. We've been asked to take part in some filming today for, I think it's a coach company. So we're all ready to go. We're going to be pretending to get on the coach at the airport, I think, and then having a little travel around the island and then getting on a coach for an excursion. So a lovely little afternoon planned. Hope you're all well. I had a fantastic day yesterday. I'm sure many of you saw me climbing up the Caldera Blanca. Highly recommended. If you're here on holiday, obviously one of the ideas of my challenges is to try and do some things that most of you may not have seen or even thought about doing on your holiday, so that you can prepare for next time when you come along and do something a little bit different. Why don't we in 2019 all do something a little bit different? Now, the challenges have been rolling in. Off the top of my head, I've been challenged to do the weather on the back of a motorbike. I've also been challenged to do the weather in as part of a cocktail making masterclass. So very much looking forward to that one if I can sample afterwards. Obviously, I won't be tying that in with the motorbike one. That wouldn't be very good, would it? And there's quite a few others that have come in. As followers, as my lovely followers, if you do have challenges yourself, feel free. And also, every time I do a challenge, I'm going to make sure that I post in advance. If you're here on holiday, if you live in here and you want to come along, you're more than welcome. We can have some fun. Come and do a challenge with me. I was messaging a lovely follower only yesterday. So yeah, let's have some fun. So what are we all doing for a Sunday afternoon? As I said yesterday, weather-wise, just while a few people come in and chat. Today, the wind has picked up. If I sneak you out of the window, more or less clear skies. It's actually really quite lovely today. The gustiness, yes, the wind definitely has picked up, and there is a haze of Klima over the sea at the moment, but overall really nice, and that is really going to stay in place for the next few days. January, usually really lovely weather. We've actually, as I speak today, so far this month, not had a drop of rain. And while I was on the walk yesterday, speaking to the guide, we actually think that it was kind of October. We had a bit of drizzle, a bit of light rain in November, but realistically, we've not had rain here since October, like an actual rainfall. So not bad at all. Don't know if there's anyone on there. There's certainly no questions coming in. I can see that there are viewers, but hello to you if you are watching back at home. I don't know what you have planned. Maybe a nice Sunday lunch, or maybe you're doing the cleaning or whatever you're up to. Hi, I can see that Sibo is watching. I'm coming to see you. I'm just telling all my lovely viewers what I'm up to with you this afternoon. So looking forward to doing the filming. The weather's certainly nice for it as well. So I am going to try and do some more lives, guys, because they are actually really important. I do love coming on, having a chat with you, seeing what you're saying. Hi, Seymour, thanks very much. People are getting a bit braver now. You're all a bit shy for a Sunday. Hello, Robert. How are you, sweetheart? Hope you're well. And hi to Colin again. Is that the same Colin from Birmingham that was on my live yesterday? I do try and remember if I can. Hi to Tracy. Hello, sweetheart. How are you? Happy Sunday. Yvonne, wishing that you were here. Well, jump on a plane, my darling. 4 hours if you're in England or so, and you can be here in the sunshine. Obviously, again, guys, if you need any help or advice with accommodation or trips or things to do, I'm your girl. And if I don't know, I've got so many friends here that I can ask for you. Hi, Robert. Hoping that it stays nice for when you come out on the 21st. Fingers crossed. A little bit too far in advance for me to know for sure. 3 days or so is accurate for the microclimate. Many of the apps and the sites will predict much further in advance, but the weather can change at the drop of a hat. Good. Yes, so hopefully that'll be nice for you. Who have we got here? Charmaine. Hello, Charmaine. I am very lucky, my darling. I count my blessings every day, the fact that I'm living here. And if I can share that all with you, all more the merrier. showing around, making everybody happy. Thank you, Colin. Yes, it is the same guy from yesterday, all the way from Brum. There you go. Nice to chat to you again. What are you up to today? Let me know. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what's happening. February next month, obviously another really nice weather month here, and a bit of an exclusive. There's a particular magazine on the island, I can't name it yet, but from February you're going to see this little face on one of the pages with some details of the weather. So once that's done and actually printed, I will make sure that I mention it for you all, so you can pick up your copy when you're here. You're not going to be able to get away from me, are you? All over the place at the moment. So for those of you that have only just come on, let me turn that camera around, have a little look. Beautiful weather. We're just on the outskirts of Puerto Calero at the moment, heading to the airport to do some filming. Oh, you're working, Robert, are you? Bless you. No rest for the wicked, as they say. Tracy, wishing you were there. It's your favourite place in the world. And oh, Happy New Year to you as well. I've been saying Happy New Year for what feels like ages now, but it is still obviously only January. And if I haven't spoken to you, then yes, of course it does apply. Happy New Year. Some gorgeous palm trees, actually. If I turn the camera around there, tiny, teeny, tiny little ones, but even so, absolutely lovely. Hubby's just in one of the villas at the moment, meeting some guests, taking their passport details. Very important that that's done now for guests that are coming over. Just trying to think what else I could talk to you about. I could talk for days and days and days on end, but you're probably not interested very much in what I've got to say other than the details of the weather. If you've got a question, pop it up on screen. Who's this now? Danny McNeil. Ah, you're coming over during Easter. Fabulous. 14 weeks. Is that all it is till Easter? 14 weeks. Oh my goodness. The weather's not very nice back in Manchester. I lived in Manchester actually before I moved over. I was a northwest girl. Yeah, it does rain a lot back there. Not quite used to, still not quite used to the fact that we get so little rain over here. Colin, what do I do when I'm not doing the weather posts? Okay, well, I'd love to say I was a lady of leisure and that I didn't work, but of course I work. I have a full-time job. I work for a company who have supplements, nutritional supplements, and yes, work for them full-time. I look after the UK and Ireland. They're the customers that I look after, and of course I'm quite involved in social media for them and a bit of marketing as well, so keeps me busy, keeps me on my toes, keeps me healthy actually. My beautiful skin is down to the products that the company have, because I'm taking those on a regular basis to keep me happy and healthy. So thank you very much for that question, Colin. Very nice. Do I speak fluent Spanish, Alistair? Estoy aprendiendo. I am learning. Since I've lived on the island, the jobs that I've had haven't actually required me to speak fluent Spanish, because predominantly I've worked with English clients, English holidaymakers. But of course it is really nice, and I do try and pick up if I'm shopping or if I'm in a restaurant. I will try and order and buy the things that I'm buying speaking the very best Spanish that I can. In the office where I am now, there's quite a few of the colleagues that speak Spanish, so I do try my very best, but because it's not actually a requirement for me to make my living, it's probably not as good as it should be. I've been here, well, coming up 6 years in June, so yeah, maybe I should be able to speak a little bit more. What's the rate at the moment? Don't know whether to wait until you come out to change your money. I don't know the actual rate, Robert, off the top of my head. However, I always advise people to exchange when you're here. Generally, you tend to get a better rate when you are in resort. So that's a little tip. If I'm driving around today and I see anywhere with the rate, I will jump on and I'll put a comment in the post later on for you. Has it greatly improved since living here, Alistair? I think you're referring to my Spanish. Yes, it has. And I can see another question from Steve. I'll do that for you in a moment. Yes, my Spanish is much, much better now. I did do it at GCSE. But like anything, if you don't practice on a regular basis, then you do lose it. So yes, I do speak it more frequently now than I guess I would. So thank you. Steve, how long do climas tend to last for? Actually quite difficult. A couple of days on average, I would say, and a clima happens when the wind changes direction. We usually have the prevailing trade winds, so they're winds coming from the northwest, and from time to time the winds will change and come easterly, so that picks up the hot dry air from Africa and brings over some of the dust and some of the sand. Sorry, my friend is a little bit long. And usually, yeah, a couple of days for climas, not much more than that, I would say. Every now and then we do get one that lasts a bit longer, but mostly I would say a couple of days. You're very welcome. Very welcome, Robert and Steve. Thank you so much for those questions. I can just see someone else that's come on there. Jerry, hello. How are you, sir? Hope you're well. Just having a little chat with everybody. I'm just sat waiting for my husband, so I thought I'd come on, say hi to everyone, because it's a nice Sunday afternoon, and have a little chat. So let me know what you're doing, Jerry. I'm not sure if you're actually back on the island or whether you're back over in Blighty at the moment. Don't be shy. I know you're not. Jerry, I actually have been on the radio station. Jerry is the producer on The Mix Radio, and very kindly in my early part of the weather invited me to go on to his show and do the weather. But sadly now, because I'm working full time, my schedule doesn't allow me to do the weather on The Mix anymore. They're lovely guys, Jerry and Robin and Mick, and the gorgeous girls Nuria and Sarah. So if you are over on holiday, Fridays 11 till 1, Lanzarote The Mix, tune in. Lots of chat, lots of fun. Another question coming in, I can see, from Charmaine. Do I spend much time sitting in the sun, or do I get fed up of it? Well, as you can see, I'm not really very suntanned. So what I thought when I first moved over here was on my days off, yeah, I'd be on the beach, relaxing. Doesn't really happen. I do get out and about in the sun, and I actually tend to sit in the sun more kind of February, March, April time, because for me it's cooler and then I don't get overheated. I tend to avoid it from June through till about September because it is rather warm. But thank you so much, Charmaine, for that question. Alistair one, what's my favourite Spanish restaurant on the island? Goodness me, I have lots of them. In Playa Blanca there's a beautiful restaurant called Petite Marmite. Really lovely food. I've actually never had a bad meal from Petite Marmite, and my husband loves the steaks. They do a steak on a hot stone there, so he likes that very much. Where else do I like to go and eat? For snacks, there's a gorgeous place actually in Puerto Claro here called Upper Deck. They do some really nice snacks. Again, in Playa Blanca there's a little bar called Peregrinos, and they do some lovely tapas. If I'm in the mood for fresh fish, probably head to El Golfo. You can't beat the fresh fish, comes in gorgeous. In Arrecife there is a great burger bar called La Tabla. Really nice place, and off the top of my head they're the ones. There are so many more and if I've forgotten anyone who knows me and I regularly come in, I am sorry guys. What advice do I give health wise if there's a clima, Steve? Well, over here what actually happens, if there is a really bad clima, you will be told to stay indoors, keep the windows and doors shut because of the dust. I have to be honest, I haven't really noticed a difference that much for me. Maybe my eyes get a little bit itchy, so I tend to carry in my bag lots of water to keep hydrated, and then when there is a clima, kind of like a mist spray, just to spray and wash, because the dust kind of sits on your skin. So that's what I tend to do for climas. I'm having to scroll up and down here a little bit because there's lots and lots of questions coming in. Hello to Ken, you're coming over in March. Fabulous, great month. Morgan, wow, there's a blast from the past. Hello, Mr. Ward, how are you? Yes, my sister had an operation in September. 3 months on, she's doing so well. I saw yesterday while I was out hiking, she was also out hiking. I know she's back in the gym now. She's been on a really good recovery. She's now fully vegan as well, so I think that's helping. So thank you for that, my darling. Sending you love. Not heard your name in quite some time. Hello Pippa, can you still go out and about in a clima? Yeah, absolutely. most people here tend to go out and about in them. I did have a couple of followers tell me that they've been quite poorly in the Kalimas. I think if you suffer from dust allergies normally, kind of asthma and things, make sure that you bring your inhaler. Make sure maybe that I would go down to the coast and try and get some of that fresh sea air, much nicer for your lungs. But the Kalimas, as I said a moment ago, for me don't really affect me. But, you know, I don't have any dust allergies. So for those with dust allergies, I'm guessing that might be more of a problem. Tracy Island telling me that she loves Petite Marmite. Yes, absolutely. Down on the marina in Playa Blanca. I nearly forgot which resort it was in there. You're welcome, Alistair. Yes, lots of restaurants to try, and from time to time as well I do post and mention and put some photos up. There really are so many places, and even living here coming on 6 years, I certainly haven't eaten in all of the restaurants that are available out here to eating. Certainly haven't gone for a drink in all of the bars either. I've just remembered another one. There's a new place open in Playa Blanca. Because I live in Femes, I tend to eat out in Playa Blanca or Puerto Calero a lot, and there's a new bar just open called Alfie's Bar, sports bar, but his menu is fantastic. Traditional high tea with cucumber sandwiches, some gorgeous homemade puddings as well. So if you're in Playa Blanca, pop down to Alfie's, tell him Terry Weather sent you. Give me a mention, all right. Tracy's saying you want to retire to Lanzarote, but you're concerned about Brexit. There's a lot of people talking about that at the moment, and obviously not wanting to get into the politics because it's all over the news. We don't really know what the outcome will be. Really depends if there's a deal or a no deal. I guess it's a case of waiting and playing the game. Not much more that I can say on that, really. And I really kind of try and stay away from talking about things like that on my feed. The whole point of the weather is it's generally gorgeous weather here, and I much prefer to talk about nice things and pass on a bit of kindness and a bit of love instead of talking about boring politics. Who else is on there? Pippa. Okay, just reminded you to pack your daughter's inhalers. Absolutely. You can get them in resort, but obviously, sorry guys, I do need my fringe trimming. It's getting in my eyes while I'm trying to read. You can get inhalers in resort, but much easier if you bring the ones from home. Then you know it's the correct one and everything's much easier that way. I do know quite a few people who bring medications and things over as well, and I would always advise that. Oh, hello, Katie. Thank you very much. You're coming over in July. Your message is quite long, and I don't think it's going to let me see it all. 1 second. No, I can't read all of it. You're coming in July to Playa Blanca, and you've put bring my, and then I can't read the rest, so carry that on for me. Yeah, July, I mean, summertime here is always gorgeous. The weather generally doesn't let us down. Generally, it's stunning weather in July, and very busy because of the school holidays. All the villas and the hotels, the car hire gets booked up more or less in advance. If you come over, if you're looking to try and come over for a last minute deal, July and August, you may be lucky enough to get a flight and somewhere to stay, but excursions, car hire and things like that do tend to book in advance. So there's another little tip really, if you're looking to come away. But for me, my favourite months here weather-wise, I love May. It's my birthday month, so probably that's a good reason why I love it. But May, everything tends to warm up. Well, warm up for me, it feels like it's warming up. Of course, I do still feel like we have cooler months here, and I do love the weather in May. And September also is one of my favourite months. September tends to be when me and hubby go away and go on our holidays. You're flying out on the 22nd, Anne. What's the weather looking like? A bit too early to say for sure. 3 days really with the microclimate here is the best for predictions, but at the moment I can't see anything untoward. We've been averaging 20 or so in the day, 15 or so in the evening, so can't see any reason why that would change. Anne? Katie, you're bringing your parents with you. They are going to love Lanzarote. I'm sure they're going to love Lanzarote. Lots that they can do here. If you need any advice or suggestions, send me a private message. You will have seen that I did the climb Yesterday, the hike up to Caldera Blanca, fabulous day out. The week before, paragliding, completely different, something amazing to do as well. Not sure whether your parents or you would be brave enough, but it was really good fun. Alistair likes bar stop in Yaitha. Absolutely, some beautiful little tapas. And I can see, Alistair, you've put, can you recommend, and I can't read the rest of that message either, when I'm actually doing a live, if it's a long message, it only gives me a snippet of it. So put the rest of the question on, I'll answer that in just 1 second. Colette, you're coming tomorrow. Oh, how excited must you be? I bet you've packed your case and everything's ready. Beautiful. Yeah, the weather at the moment, I'll spin it round for those of you that didn't see. I'm literally just sat in the car, so hopefully you can see that. The weather at the moment is wonderful. Melissa Maria, I can see you just come online. Hello to you. David Hawkins, coming over in March. What are the average temperatures? I would say, I actually have all of this on little images, and off the top of my head for March, I would say highs of around 21, 22, and maybe dropping down to around about 15 or 16 in the evenings. Barely any rain in March, maybe a couple of days on average. So it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous. Generally, it always is gorgeous here, to be fair. We very rarely get poor weather. So no matter when you're coming over, it tends to be wonderful. I feel like I'm chatting away an awful lot here at the moment. Thank you all for having the patience to watch. So very nice. What clothes should you bring in January, Anne? Well, everybody is different. I mean, today it's 20 degrees. I've got little pants on and a cardigan. There are still plenty of people on the beaches. There are still plenty of people walking around resorts in t-shirts and shorts. What I will say is that when you fly back home, you'll always have like a bigger jumper or a light jacket on the plane, so that would be perfect in the evenings, just in case it does drop any cooler. Make sure you've got your swimwear, of course. Make sure you've got that for your tan so you can top up. The UV here averages January, February around about 6, and to put that into context, in the UK in summer you get maybe a UV of 7 or so. So 6 is more than enough to get you a suntan. Throughout the summer months here, the UV index actually goes up to 10. We max that. We actually do get up to the full 10 in summer. So you really have to be careful. And even when it's overcast here, the UV may drop to 4 or 5. You do still need that sun cream. Really important. I wear every day, I wear at least a factor 20 built into my moisturiser on my face, and if I'm out in the sun I never go below 15. So that's how I have my skincare routine, and it served me well, I think. Not bad for 42 anyway. David, you're very welcome, my darling. And I can see Alex is on. Hi sweetie, how are you? How's your business going? Alex, very lovely lady who I met through my friend Karen, started her own business walking and looking after dogs and puppies while people are on holiday. So I can't remember exactly where you live, Alex. Tell me where you live, and then anyone that's coming over to Lanzarote, get in touch with me. I can put you in touch with Alex, and she can look after your little doggy while you're here. How nice would that be? Just can't remember where you live. I know it's down south, Alex, but I can't remember exactly. Okay, guys, hubby's on his way back to the car, so we're going to go off and do our filming. Whatever you're doing, take care, look after yourselves, and I will see you all very soon.